What up, Laker Nation? It's your boy DTLF, man, back with another post game recap. Very upset. This is gonna be more of a venting video for me because I was very upset, man. With that baloney we played in the fourth quarter, that garbage offense we ran, the stupidity of our offense was like I don't know who said it, but they said we're running elementary school half court offense. They're absolutely right. Not even the jacket could come through with that atrocity. That was garbage, guys, at his finest. And we let Paul George come in here and embarrass us. And we could have easily won this game. Russell Westbrook was on lock. You know, we did a good job on him, and he did a good job on himself because he's garbage. He keeps messing all these layups and shots. And on top of that, great blocks by JaVale and Lonzo. We showed toughness for 3 quarters. And in the fourth quarter, we went ISO Ingram ball. Great game plan, Luke Walton. Shout out to Luke Walton for the docracy, man. I'm telling you right now, this is crazy. I knew we were going to lose this game since the moment we had a 4-point lead. And then we went 4 straight possessions with no offense. Luke refuses to call a timeout. The Thunder were garbage as well, but they started making some shots. They go by 3, and then we call a timeout. Then we bring in some of the starters. We mix them up. By the way, Zubats played again today, finally, after he didn't play the last game, and he played great. So what the heck is wrong with the coaching staff by not playing him? He's great, guys. Matter of fact, I thought he should have been out there longer in the fourth quarter the way he was playing. KCB played a good half, but then, of course, he disappeared in the second half. I thought Josh Hart was atrocious from the field, then started coming on a little bit in the fourth. But horrible game by Brandon Ingram. I have to criticize him. At this point, he's not showing any heart. He's going through the motions. I don't know if you guys saw, but the last couple of plays when he went down the lane for a dunk, he got ripped by Westbrook. It looks like he's just going through the motions. And that really pissed me off because I believe in this kid, and I still do. But seriously, they're not playing for their head coach. And I don't even know if their head coach is coaching, man. What is he doing out there? What kind of sets were we running? Screen and roll, come off of the screen, shoot up a 3, ISO ball, shoot a contested mid-range, driving kick to the center where there's absolutely nobody open. What are we running? No, there was no ball movement. We weren't, spreading the wealth like we were in the first half when we had the lead. Nothing, guys, nothing. And I was just like, I was so appalled by it. I was so disgusted that for the first time in my life, I was this close to turning it off. But nope, I'm not going to do it. Never going to do it. I'm always going to watch, man, even through the pain. But seriously, guys, unfortunately, Kyle Kuzma went down with injury, back spasms. So the injury bug keeps biting us. But I do not like it that Brandon Ingram couldn't step up. And what I mean is not by scoring. He couldn't step up and make the right plays, be a decoy if his offense isn't falling, move the rock, create for others, play defense. It was all bad, man. And I can't help but notice what a garbage half-court offense we're running, guys. Seriously. Did you guys see any motion, any back screens, any off-ball movement, anything to give us hope, man? We went literally probably like 7 minutes without any good offense, 8 minutes. That's the recipe for disaster. No NBA team should ever go 7, 8 minutes without a solid offensive scheme. Even if you miss, if they're good misses, I'm okay with that. I get it. We're injured. I get it. But they weren't even good misses. They were contested layups or contested mid-range shots or contested 3 balls or threes coming off of the screen fading away. I'm like, what are we doing, Laker Nation? What are we doing? This was honestly, it was torture to watch in the fourth quarter. I thought they played a good, solid 3 quarters, and then in the fourth, again, once the defense starts clamping down, we don't know what to do. And we can't look over the bench for any sort of guidance because there's nobody with a clipboard there. Nobody's drawing up any plays. So that's where I'm just like, man, kill me now. Watching this stuff, man. Svi looked nice in the short amount of minutes he got. Lonzo needs to hit his free throws. There's no way around it. Same thing with Brandon. We lost by 7 points. We missed 10 free throws? So I'm not saying we should make them all, but I'm saying we should make more to make it more of a close game. No way around it. But I was really pissed off this game, man. We got embarrassed in our home by stupid Paul George and Brick shot Russell Westbrook steroids, who, by the way, great block by JaVale. That was a highlight of the game. I was so happy he blocked the crap out of him because normally everybody just moves and lets steroids comes down the lane and just dunk on us. So that was great. I'm glad we pissed him off a little bit. But, man, seriously, the officiating is soft. So I can't believe they called that a flagrant, man. He went for the ball. It just so happened that Ferguson jumped so high, his face hit his hand. So it was like, really? That's a flagrant foul? But that's what the league has come to, guys. This guy Ferguson's jumping around like a pogo stick. Yeah, we get it. You have hops, but he almost got injured on the other end as well. When he tried to block Josh Hart, and then again he came back like a pogo stick. Vets aren't going to have it, guys. They're going to put their hands down, and they're not going to allow you to dunk on them. Come on now. But other than that, man, very discouraging game. I thought we could have won it. They went on some huge dry spells that we did not take advantage of. Luke didn't call the proper timeouts tonight, in my opinion. And I thought, the half-court offense was utter garbage, just despicable. It was almost embarrassing to watch. And the free throws continue to be embarrassing to watch. We're the worst free throw shooting team. I mean, you know what I do like? I like this. I like the fact that the crowd booed Lonzo, and it kind of like, I don't know if he refocused or whatever, but he actually hit a free throw. That was the only free throw he hit. So good on the crowd for putting pressure on our own team, because they got to know that that's not acceptable. You can very easily – we're not as strict as the New York Knicks crowd, but you can very easily lose favor. Y'all remember what happened to Kwame Brown with his tiny hands, right? Eventually he got booed and got traded away. So Lonzo, you got to hit your free throws, bro. I'm sorry. If you're going to attack the rim and not make the layup for the and one, you have to hit your free throws. Same thing with Brandon. Brandon, you can't stop. You can't keep playing ISO ball if you're not going to beat your defender with your first step and then play make or finish at the rack. Can't stop. You can't be settling for contested jumpers, man. That's not acceptable. So bad on them for both of those things. I thought, again, KCP has been solid. To my surprise, he had another good game today. So we should have won. And then on top of that, Russell Westbrook, which was my key for us to have a chance tonight, for him to have a bad game. And he did have a bad game. Lonzo did a great job on him. Josh Hart, great help defense. JaVale, good job containing him in the paint. He didn't get any dunks, not that I remember. So that's great. Anytime you can keep Russell Westbrook, who sucks at shooting, to no dunks, great job. But everything else was all bad, man. It was all bad. And I don't think that Laker Nation deserves this type of half-court atrocity, man. There's nothing there. There's nothing. We're not running anything. We're not running nothing. We're not taking advantage of our mismatches. Another poor coaching job by Luke. We had Paul George with 3 fouls. 3 fouls in the first half, in the first quarter. And we couldn't attack him and try to draw that 4th and 5th foul to get him out of the game. Horrible, horrible coaching. Any other head coach would have been like, okay, whatever Paul George is guarding, we're going at him every night and force him to make a decision. Either you get the hell out of the way or you're going to pick up that other foul. I'm just blown away. Instead, we allow him to have a 37-point game. 37-point game. Mind-blowing, guys. Mind-blowing how low IQ our coaching staff has. Not just Luke, our whole coaching staff. Nobody pointed that out to Lakers because obviously I kept looking at Paul George's matchup and nobody was attacking PG. Nobody was going at his neck. Wow. I was just like, wow, we could have took Paul George out of the game early and then there would have been easy victory because Russell Westbrook wasn't going to bail him out tonight. It is what it is, man. So like I'm saying, guys, the coaching is garbage. But I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm going to stay watching the Lakers, covering them, all that good stuff. Hopefully you guys will stay with me. But I'm really frustrated with tonight. It could have been a victory. They weren't playing good either, the Thunder, and we did a good job defensively. We just, man, did we crumble in that fourth quarter. No fourth quarter offense at all. We didn't run nothing. It was all contested shot, contested shot, contested shot, contested shot. I'm just like, wow, dude. Wow. So look. A player can only do so much. A player can ISO and try to take advantage of the defense, especially somebody like Brandon. But if your shot is off, we got to have a plan B, a plan C, and a plan D. We got to be able to counter the defense accordingly. That's what you have to do as a head coach. You got to be able to plan. You got to come with the right game plan just in case. Okay, let's say hypothetically Brandon Ingram's offense is not falling. Okay, then we have to use him as a decoy and set up KCP. Or if not KCP, who, by the way, was balling out, then we got to, set up, what's his face? Ivica Zubac in the paint. He was doing work. We should have fed him some more. I'm just like, wow, we're not doing anything. We're not taking high-efficiency shots. And I'm just like, wow, I'm just mind blown, guys. We had so many opportunities to win this game tonight. Tough, man. Tough. But what do you guys think, man? I'm going to head over to the comment section, or at least I'm going to try. You guys are writing paragraphs. I won't get to your comment because there's so many comments today. But you said, why did not screen for KCP was balling, Zubac was killing this too? That's what I'm saying, man. We're not running the proper game plan. It's just like, wow. I'm just baffled by it, man. DTLF, exactly. Zoo impacted the game immediately and then was not fed. That's what I'm saying. I don't get the logic. I'm sorry, but I grew up in the Phil Jackson era, and I'm used to Phil taking advantage of every mismatch from Lamar Odom to Pau Gasol to Kobe every night. And now I got to settle for this baloney where we're like going away from the hot players and we're just jacking up random shots. And it's like Mike D'Antoni offense all over again. It's like they have a green light just to jack up random shots. But at least Mike D'Antoni's offense has some motion, some sets, some back screens to get some shooters wide open. So, man. I feel you, Dan. We deserve better coaching. That's the first time I ever heard Jonathan Nelson say that, because normally he's like, don't blame the coach. I don't blame the coach. I blame the whole coaching staff, man. We need a lot better coaching. And I'm sitting there, man. I'm like, wow, what's going on? Mark Jackson is needed. Mark Jackson's commentary, if you guys were watching the game on ESPN, he was right on point. He said he was disappointed in Ingram because he expects a lot more from him. That's the type of coach we need. He said he expected Ingram to make a play for somebody else if his shot wasn't falling. Guys, we needed that. I'm sure Mark Jackson would have benched Brandon Ingram if he's just ball hogging and breaking shots. That's the type of coach we need. Yes, let's blame the players. Let's blame the players. But at the end of the day, who empowers the players? Come on. We can play better than Lonzo. We can play better than Lonzo. Lonzo was running the show beautifully. It was when Brandon Ingram started running on ball that we started sucking. When Lonzo was running point guard, he was doing a great job of it, man. But why is Tyson Chandler playing anyway when he misses all those players? You see Magic's face. He was pissed. I'd be pissed too. I'd be pissed too, man. You got to be pissed. I was pissed, dude. I was like, I'm trying to hold back. I was about to curse out the whole stream tonight. I was like, no, I got to be better than that, But I'm really bottling up my emotions because this is these are games we should be winning. With better coaching, we'd be winning them, man. I don't care about the injuries. We're deep enough. We just not doing it, man. At this point, I don't even rage anymore, guys. The same crap from I'm sorry. If I don't get to read your comments, there's so many, I'm not going to scroll up. Sorry, bro. I'm sick of Luke Walton. Me too. I'm sick of the whole coaching staff. I would clean house. Not just Luke Walton. I would clean house. Magic was pissed like I am. He's a fan like us. I'm sure he is. And if he has anything to do with it, I expect some sort of change soon. Exactly. The game was there for the taking. It was. If we run any solid offensive sets, I have no doubt in my mind we could have came out with victories. Damn, why did Luke bench Kuzma? He was out with back spasms, unfortunately, man. He was out for the game. Injury bug keeps biting us. But next man up, we have the depth to win these games. We do. Don't Luke Walton will be fired for sure. We'll see. We'll see. 8th in the West. We're falling off. These are a lot of these games where we could have won. The Orlando Magic ones earlier in the season that we lost, both of them. The Sacramento King one we lost. There's so many games we could have won. The San Antonio Spurs one, this one tonight, and so on and so forth. I lost count of all the games that were up for the taking. Had we had better coaching or had the players hit free throws, we could have had them. Ingram was ball hogging, but again, if you're the head coach and you don't rein in your young players, then you have no reign over any players. Because if you can't coach young players, you definitely can't coach veterans. So don't nobody be pointing the finger at LeBron when he's taking over in the fourth, because Luke Walton doesn't have any better game plan. He said Dan Ingram should be benched or his minutes should be given to Mo Wagner. Something needs to happen, honestly. There needs to be some sort of coaching, some sort of repercussion for bad play. Why is Luke letting them do it? I have no clue, but it is what it is. Dan, we should have benched whoever we should have benched. Bottom line is that's the coaching staff's job to get on their players. Give the ball to Zoe. Lonzo was running the offense great. I don't know. Svi was good too, girl. Hey, Svi was very good. I'm proud of the kid. He's making strides. He said Luke will not have a job tomorrow morning. Mark my words. I pray to God that you are right, but not just Luke. I need everybody to go because nobody is stepping in and doing a good job with these young players, man. Honestly, these are winnable games. Walton's strategy is one-on-one ball. I think that's the player's strategy. He's just letting them go do it. And that's a problem. If you can't coach even young players, that's a problem. I get it. When LeBron is in, we're giving him a pass, right? We're like, LeBron has to be better at closing games, right? But guess what? LeBron's no longer there. You should be taking the reins from this team and bending them to your will, man. Mark Jackson will assemble his own coaching staff. I would love Mark Jackson. I think he's a very heady coach, very underrated, and he does not get credit for what he built in Golden State. We're falling off the standings. LeBron James needs to come back. And that's the thing. We can't rush him back from injury. We're going to need him for playoffs. So what we need to do is the coaching staff needs to step up big time, man. Because I was really upset that they didn't play Zubac. And he proved me right. Because tonight he came out balling and he came out making an impact. And by the way, Luke didn't play him in the first half, if you recall. So these are all minutes that are being wasted. Zubac has a lot of potential, man. Mark Jackson is a man of God. I dig that the most. I love Mark Jackson. And you know what I like about him? He's a truth teller. He's not afraid to tell the truth. He's not afraid to speak his mind. I think any player will respect him. I know LeBron certainly has respect for Mark Jackson, and he's from New York as well. New Yorkers are very outspoken. They speak their mind. They're not afraid. They're not going to hold their tongue for nobody. So I think Mark Jackson fit this team like a glove, man. Dan, LeBron talking with Magic and Rob after the game. Thoughts? I hope they're talking about something productive for this team. I hope they're talking about something to help the team get better, because I don't see any other conversation they could be having, honestly. I believe in Magic and Rob. I'm going to sit here and be patient, man. Remember, the February trade deadline is around the corner. So if anything happens, it'll happen. But if it doesn't, then they could be talking about a different head coach at the helm. They could be talking about rotation patterns. They could be talking about anything. God knows. But I'm rooting for them to step in, man. With Mark Jackson, they would not have lost that game. Absolutely. Mark Jackson is a smart coach. He would be very engaged into the game. And he would, oh, man, I would love to have a coach that's not sitting there looking like everything's okay when the game is falling apart, man. Luke doesn't run sets at all. It's mind-boggling. Sometimes I wonder how he still has his job. Thanks, Mike Scott Frey. I appreciate it. He said, too much one-on-one basketball? Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Too much. Way too much. Way too much. He said what? He said time for Phil. At this point, I know he's going to run triangle offense, but at this point, I'll take it. He's one of the greatest. I know he can't really coach every game, but I'd rather him coach half of the games than getting no good coaching, man. That's honest to God. I wish Luke Walton the best. I don't hate Luke Walton, but his coaching style really, really irks me, man. It really, I'm running out of patience with this guy. It's like I try not to criticize him because there's some people on Twitter that I have to block. They annoy me. They're always like protecting or defending Luke, and I don't really want to get into these long arguments with them. But there's really nothing to defend there. Honestly, there's nothing to defend. What can you say about him? I don't know, man. Magic should be the coach like how Doc Rivers is coach, part of the front office. I'll take any kind of change at this point is good. I miss Kobe too, pal. I miss him too. No defense and no making free throws. The defense was okay tonight. We fell apart once they went on that run, but the defense was okay. We played enough defense to win this game, I'll tell you that much. It was the offense. And I get it. Some of these shots had to fall. Josh Hart was atrocious from beyond the arc. He kept shooting them, though. He hit one late in the fourth, but that was about it. We need him to knock those down if he's going to start. It was just crazy, guys. It's crazy to watch us fall apart when we work so hard to take a hold of this game. Hey, Dan, you can tell Magic, Pelinka, and LeBron were talking about firing Luke Walton. Oof, that would be golden. But not just Luke. I think Brian Shaw has to go. I think, a lot of people on that coaching staff, honestly. And it's just, again, I wish them the best. I hope they get another coaching job somewhere, just not here, because LA is full of bright lights and criticism, and you have to have a strong-minded coach that's going to be able to take all that and still rein his players in. He said, we need Kobe and Phil more involved in the franchise. That's not a bad idea, actually. I would love to get Kobe more involved in the franchise, especially with player development. He said, we need more basketball intelligence and winning power. I agree with that. Look, we have solid enough team to win games like these. We do. Russell Westbrook played like crap. And I told you guys pregame, I was like, if we key in on Russell Westbrook, we'll have a chance to win this game. Sure, Paul George will probably get his. He did tonight. Again, I blame the coaching staff for not emphasizing fouling out Paul George. That should have been from the moment he got the third foul in the first quarter, that should have been the emphasis. But instead, we let him go off for 37. Very upset at that. Hey, thank you, John. You said Mo Wagner could help. Why not play him? I agree with that. But again, if we have a head coach that's afraid to take risks through injuries, you have to take risks. Like he's already doing some risk taking with Svi Mikhailuk. Why not throw in Mo Wagner? He can stretch the floor. He can help us space a little bit and open up the lane because it was clogged in there. That's another good idea. Something that didn't cross my mind because I was so upset. But you're right. I would have played Mo Wagner. If I'm the head coach, you got Steven Adams in there crashing the glass. Why not stretch him out a little bit? Bring in Mo Wagner. He's at least gives us a deep threat. Even if whether he makes it or not, we know he's willing to take it. So they have to guard him. She said, Luke is sabotaging wins, period. And I said this earlier in the season. I said, with Luke Walton at the helm, I expect us to lose a lot of close games. And sure enough, here we go. Here we go falling off in the standings because we can't make the proper adjustments late in games. Ingram moves like a 15-year player, veteran. Here's the problem I have with Ingram. When he plays hard with a purpose and he's slashing and he's beating people with the first step and he's mixing it up with his mid-range and playmaking and all that, he's great. When he's going through the motions like he did tonight and settling for contested jumpers, and even when he attacks, he's not attacking with a purpose, he's horrible. So he needs to pick who he's going to be indefinitely and start becoming and molding himself after that player, because if he continues to just go through the motions, he will get traded. And I would hate to see that happen because I love Brandon Ingram. I know he's been having a rough couple of games, but I still love the kid, man. I think he has a world of potential. I'm not giving up on the young talent. If anything I'm giving up on before the young talent, it's the older guys that are developing him. But I will never give up on young talent because I've seen it. It blooms. It could be out of the blue. Look, Zubac, a month ago, nobody was talking about him. People were talking about cutting him. Now you see he's starting to hit his stride. He's starting to catch a rhythm. He's starting to finish around the basket. He has a nice soft touch. He doesn't rush shots anymore. He's dunking the ball with aggression. He's running the court. He's playing defense. He's doing it all for us, and yet he still can't buy minutes. Bad coaching. Again, we do not give up on young players. At any point, it could click for them, and as soon as it clicks, it's a wrap. Brandon Ingram is super long. When we see him use his length, did you see that layup? How he went over TJ Ferguson and he extended? He looked like Dal Sim from Street Fighter. He's just so long, guys. And if he had the proper coach under him, installing that aggressive mentality on him for him to play like that 100% of the time, I'm telling you right now, man. I'm telling you right now. We, like this guy said, we don't exploit mismatches. We absolutely would be doing that with the proper coach. He said, Luke for a bag of chicharrones. Absolutely, man. He said, exactly, Dad. No player development. It sucks. And look, man, the good thing is that these guys are still young. So if a new head coach comes in and they actually buy into the system and he actually brings and implements an offense, then I think we will reap the benefits of a Brandon Ingram or even Kyle Kuzma, man. Kyle Kuzma's been great for us, but I think even another head coach could take him even another level higher. Same thing with Lonzo, with the aggression. When I hear Mark Jackson commentate on the Lakers, I absolutely agree with everything he says 100%. And I'd be like, man, he would basically be an extension of us, the fans, but he'd be, preaching that to the players, which I would pray that they would buy, because if they did, we'd be awesome, man. No excuses. We lost. Again, we missed heck of free throws. We did stupid turnovers in the fourth quarter, but the coaching sucks. Let's just not beat around the bush anymore. Dan, we appreciate your time. Thanks, bro. Oh, man, I appreciate you guys. Honestly, I need to vent. I was about to blow up in my living room. I was steaming. I was like, what the heck kind of fourth quarter offense? You can go read my Twitter. I was pissed off, guys, because it's not fair. We as Laker fans, we sit here for 82 games, and we need a better product of basketball. We need to implement offensive schemes. We need good basketball, and we get it in spurts, but we're just not getting it consistently. We started off the new year wrong, unfortunately. So hope you had a great new year. I sure as heck did, man. Thank you, buddy. You too. Oh, man. He said, too bad we didn't trade Brandon Ingram for Paul George. I still wouldn't do that trade. He said, every time B.I. was running the offense, I was cringing. The Lakers need Mark Jackson to bring the best of the youngins. Luke gave up. I agree, Durant Fan. And by the way, thank you for the donation. Look, when Lonzo runs the offense and where bodies are cutting and moving because they know he gives up the rock. When Brandon Ingram runs the offense, you can see everybody just standing around because they expect a jump shot. And that's where a coaching staff or a coach has to come in and say, hey, look, man, you need to be more dynamic. You need to get come off of the screens, either looking to play make or whatever the defense gives you. You need to adjust your game. You can't go with the score first mentality and the defense takes it away with a double and you still force up a shot. That cannot happen. We need to be looking. We need to keep our head up when we dribble, and we need to see the options. And players, y'all need to move when Brandon Ingram is cutting because he's going to look for you. So expect the ball, right? And cut and look for openings. Move without the rock. That's all a head coach has to say. And if they don't play like that, you bench them. You bring in Svi Mykhailiuk, Mo Wagner, Zubac, anybody who's willing to play hard. That way they get the message. If they still don't get the message, now you're talking trades. So that's the process of coaching, man. You need to make sure that your players buy into your system and they're running the offense. They don't get stagnant. We cannot allow Brandon Ingram to come down, get a screen, dribble the ball a little bit, and then pull up. That's easy for them to play defense, man. Now they're saving their energy for the offensive end, right? And then we missed. Now they get out in transition. Russell Westbrook on steroids. You got Paul George hitting shots on the left. And all of a sudden, we're backpedaling. Instead, if we get good offense, it gives our defense time to recover. We come back, and we're ready to defend. And we get momentum. And all of a sudden, you got your big men running hard because they're going to get rewarded. You got all this good stuff happens, and we see it in spurts. You guys see the play where Zubac contested the shot with his hands up, and then Brandon Ingram looked up, and Zubac was already down the court. He hit him for that nice dunk over. Even Steven Adams couldn't catch up. So that's all I'm saying, guys. We need to implement way better offense. The stuff we're running right now, I'll tell you, man. Not even in elementary we ran stuff that simple. Even my elementary school coach would have ran something more complex than that. So, Dan, do you think a change is coming soon? I do. I don't expect Magic to sit here. He's just as impatient as me and you. He's wise and he's patient, but his patience does run out because there's some stuff going on in the court that's not acceptable, like players playing with no heart. All right, there's plays where they look heartless. They just stand and watch the defense. They just stand there and watch the offense just go down the lane and dunk on them. Stuff like that is not acceptable. Dan, you have to give PG props. He came into a hostile territory and balled out. I wish we had more players with that mentality. I don't give PG anything. PG is a scumbag of the earth. Honestly, if we had Kuzma, I think Kuzma would have outshined him because Kuzma's our true closer. Even with LeBron on the court, Kuzma has done what he has done. So I'm not giving Paul George any props. I despise him, and I don't care if he had a great game. Good for him. The refs assisted. He got a ton of calls. He said they don't listen to Luke because they don't respect Luke. Well, if you think about it, how can you respect a player that never did anything in his career, right? So you tell me Luke Walton, a bench warmer on a championship team, is going to be able to tell LeBron James what to do? Or how about Rondo, who's also a champion, who actually contributed to a championship? No, they're looking at him like, this dude, he thinks he knows more than me. He's garbage. He's hot garbage, matter of fact. He can never fill my shoes, right? So that's all I'm saying, man. You got to look at it from the player's perspective, right? If you're a head chef in the kitchen and then some customer comes to the back and tells you how to cook, you're going to look at them with the crazy eye like, dude, you're just a customer, right? So that's what I'm saying, guys. At the end of the day, Mark Jackson was a player and a dang good one for the New York Knicks. And Mark Jackson's very outspoken. Remember, he was a point guard. So that's the type of head coach you need. You need a point guard, not a slow, small forward who was bench warming probably the same amount of minutes as Adam Morrison in that championship run. So might as well have hired Adam Morrison, who probably would have came with more energy than Luke. We did good up until the fourth quarter, but then we just collapsed. We ran zero offense, man, and we just honestly, I don't know, man. It was very discouraging. It was upsetting. It was sickening to watch, and it was something that people are going to say trade Ingram. I don't blame Ingram. He's still very underdeveloped. He's like a baby. He's like a baby deer in the headlights right now. But it's okay. You can blame whoever you want. Bottom line is we need better coaching. Okay, we need players to stay healthy as well and hit our free throws. Those are the main three things. Because Kuzma got injured in the first half, and he didn't come out in the second half. He could have made a huge impact in this game, especially when we had a dry spell. Kuz is a go-getter. He's a bucket getter. His offensive game is way further advanced than Brandon Ingram. Why? Because Kuzma can hit the three. He can stretch the floor, so now everything opens up for everybody inside. And Brandon Ingram can't. So the defense they collapse on him because they know that he's not going to step out and hit threes, so that they could kind of play, I'm not going to say zone defense, but they could sag off a little bit. They know he's not going to hit the three. They're going to wait for everybody in the paint. So all of a sudden the paint is congested and it's hard to make to do anything in the paint. Dan, Lonzo got booed. Thoughts? I'm sorry, but if Lonzo Ball's not hitting free throws and continues to look bad like that, he's going to get booed. Lakers fans are real, man. We've been patient with this kid. He needs to hit his free throws point blank. And look, after those boos, he hit his first free throw of the night. So maybe that's what he needs, some tough love. He deserved it, and I'm okay with that. Now, they're not going to boo him every night. Every time he steps out on the floor, he's a great player. He's a good young player. He makes a huge impact, man. Thing is, especially defensively, I'm very proud of Lonzo, man. He's definitely a defensive player of the year candidate. What he did tonight on Russ does not go underappreciated. He was great. Same thing with Josh Hart. They both took turns, keeping Westbrook out of the lane, and I was very proud of both of them. And JaVale McGee, as a last line of defense, amazing. So shout out to all three of those players defensively. Now, where Lonzo has to improve, man, if he's going to attack the rim with aggression, right, he needs to start dunking that ball, especially if he sucks at free throws. We cannot risk going to the line and missing 2 free throws. Or he needs to start hitting his free throws. That simple. That simple. And the Lakers do need to hire a shooting coach since Luke Walton refuses to hire one. So we cannot be the worst free throw shooting team in the league. That's going to cost us a lot of games. So we need to hire shooting coaches. We might need to make a trade for another good free throw shooter. And I might have to refrain my trade demand for KCP because I was not aware that he's shooting 90% from the free throw line. So we need to keep any good free throw shooters that we have on the team and add to that. So those are my solutions for the team, man. But Lonzo certainly deserved the boos he got tonight. He was not good at the free throw line. He said, Luke allowed PG to shine in our court tonight. Exactly, man. If I'm the head coach, I would have said, you know what, Josh Hart, I want you to put your head down. I don't care if it's an offensive foul. We're going to put the pressure on the refs to call it 50-50. If we can get 2 more fouls on Paul George, he's out for the rest of the game. Game would have looked a lot different. Game would have looked a lot different. He said they don't work at their craft. They probably do work at their craft, but you still need to hire a shooting coach, man. He gives you all the tips, how to release the ball, what part of your hand is the last one to touch it. All that stuff matters, man. Lonzo has to learn how to use the glass on layups. I agree with that, Classy. Absolutely. He's very crafty when he wants. If you guys noticed the 2 matchup games where he played De'Aaron Fox, he looked great. Even attacking the rim, he looked amazing. But then this last game, all of a sudden, like, he's not as aggressive. I don't know what it is. Maybe it was against Steven Adams in the paint. I don't know. So Thunder didn't even try. Look how Westbrook destroyed the Mavs in Dallas. They did try. However, we did a good job of containing Westbrook. Westbrook's not going to go off every single night, especially with a good all-team defender like Lonzo and then a great paint protector like JaVale. Then they start thinking twice about coming in. If you notice, after JaVale McGee blocked Russell Westbrook, he thought twice about coming to the lane after that. There was a play where he came up to the lane, pump fake JaVale stayed up like this, and Russell Westbrook just kicked it back out to reset the shot clock. To reset the offense. So I love it, man. He said, I expect more out of B.I. and Lonzo. Me too, Kevin King. Me too, absolutely. Especially Brandon. If Brandon wants to be the guy, he needs to mix it up. He needs to stop settling, mix it up, and find other ways to be effective in games and not turn the ball over in the fourth, because this is probably about the 3rd or 4th game where I see him turn the ball over in a crucial situation. He needs to really take care of the basketball. Dan, I'd fire Luke tomorrow. I'm going to cry tears of joy. Look, if Luke gets fired tomorrow, this loss will be a blessing in disguise. But if he doesn't and we continue to let him lose games for us at this rate till the end of the season, then it's going to be very disappointing, man. I would hope that Jeannie stays out of these affairs after what happened with her brother. She needs to just allow things to happen. Yes, Luke Walton, part of the Laker family, whatever. Give him a VIP backstage pass, whatever. Just get him the heck out of our front office. We don't need him coaching anymore. Let's get him out of here. Lonzo is good. He will improve. I know he will. I absolutely love the way Lonzo has been playing. I don't understand this people trashing Lonzo. He's been great. However, he needs to improve the free throws. That's the main thing for him. Mark Jackson will take our young core to the next level. I believe it. I believe it. Bring him in, or at this point, bring anybody in. He said Luke can be a janitor. Man, honestly, I don't care if he's a Spectrum Sports Net telecast guy or whatever. Just don't. You don't have to fire him all the way. Just give him a different job. Byron Scott took a different job after he got hired. After he got fired, he took a total different job. So, there's plenty of jobs to be had that you don't have to, trash our Lakers, man. There's an opening at the Nokia Theater. I'm sure. There's so many other jobs you can have. I'll take a couple more questions before I get off, guys. Thank you so much for hearing my venting and commenting. It feels so much better, man, but I'm still going to have a tough night getting over this loss. It's never easy when you take an L that you could have won, especially. But, that's two already, man. The Sacramento King one when they beat us at the buzzer. And now this one, man, these hurt a lot. So we'll see what we do to improve. I'm going to keep my ear low to the ground. I'm going to be on Twitter seeing if there's any updates. I know Paul George is probably going to make some douchey comment. I'm not looking forward to that, so I don't even care. But let's see what we could do. He said, Dan, we don't have a go-to player in the fourth quarter without LeBron and no half-court players from the head coach. Well, our go-to player without LeBron is Kuzma, but he was out tonight. And Kuzma's definitely our go-to player. He's hit some clutch, big-time shots in the fourth quarter. If you guys recall, the one versus Sacramento that put us up by 2 points before they hit the other dagger. So Kuzma's definitely our go-to, man. Don't underestimate him. It's unfortunate he went out with back spasms tonight. He said, just know Kuzma is not the go-to guy either. Just know Kuzma is not. Is he not really? I mean, go look at his fourth quarter stats, man. He's been putting up some numbers. I think he's our go-to. If it doesn't translate to wins, it's not their fault. They're hitting big shots and doing everything. Again, the coaching staff has to do a better job of keeping the offense flowing and calling timeouts at the right time. He said, Dan, what do you think about Kobe having another girl? Congratulations, man. That's a blessing. He's going to be surrounded by a lot of love, a lot of compassion. Girls are full of love. So he's a blessed man, I'm sure he's going to keep trying because he probably wants a boy. But either way, man, I support Kobe 100%. It's always nice to keep growing the family, man. Bunch of meanie mambas running around. He said Luke couldn't coach an egg to fry in a hot pan. That's a funny one, bro. Kobe for coach would be amazing. However, he's already mentioned that he would never coach. He doesn't have the patience. So I support the man. However, I'm sure he's going to be giving advice on front office moves and personnel and stuff like that because he's awesome. He said Ingram can't shoot threes at all this year. Yeah, he kind of regressed, which is a little surprising, but he needs to find a way to make an impact even when he's not scoring, which is what Lonzo does. It's what Kuz has done at times. So you got to make an impact one way or another, man. Dan Ingram plays good in the first half, but in the second half, he forces the situation too much. I blame the coaching staff on that, too, for not putting him in situations to succeed. You can't just tell a player to just go out and get you a bucket. You got to run plays. You got to find a way to get them open, man. All right, guys. Well, that's going to wrap it up for me. Thank you guys so much for all the questions. Much love. Hopefully, you guys like my room because I might be streaming some games from here. Some pre-games and post-games. I like the idea somebody gave me in the pre-game show about having potentially a hotline for you guys to call in and give your thoughts and opinions, and we can maybe go back and forth here and there. But we'll see. We'll see what I could do to make it happen. Let's see. We got a rude person in the chat. Let me block him right quick. All right, guys. Sorry for the interruption here. Got some idiot. There you go. Now I feel better. All right. That's going to wrap it up for me, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out, guys.